Sometimes it makes me sad, though, Andy being gone. I have to remind myself that some birds aren't meant to be caged. Their feathers are just too bright. And when they fly away, the part of you that knows it was a sin to lock them up does rejoice. But still, the place you live in is that much more drab and empty that they're gone. I guess I just miss my friend. Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I'm Will Leggetter.
And I'm Lucy Hewitt.
And she's straight.
Oh.
She's straight. Oh.
And our special guest today, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, I'm actually here live. It's not even a good impression, but it's worth it just to say some of these astoundingly good lines. Welcome to the show, Lucy.
Hi, thank you for having me.
This is undoubtedly my favourite film of all time. I go through periods intermittently where I sort of lie. Well, no, I don't lie. I always say, I wish as a film buff I had a more interesting choice, but it is Shawshank. And I've come fully around. There is no shame. This is the greatest film ever made. It's my favourite film. I'm out. I am what I am. Unequivocally, Citizen Kane's good. It has its moments where it drags.
By the power vested in me by the state of Maine, I hereby order you to serve 2 life sentences back to back, 1 for each of your victims. So be it.
Andy came to Shawshank prison in 1947.
Why'd you do it?
I didn't, since you asked.
You can fit right in. I must admit, I didn't think much of Andy first time I laid eyes on him. He had a quiet way about him.
This is the greatest film I've made. It's my favourite film. Will, where do you sit?
It's up there. It's
not as good as Chicken Run, though, is it?
It's not as good as. I mean, 2 prison escape movies. One's better than the other, and it is Chicken Run.
Oh yeah.
You haven't got a maniacal farmer figure, have you? Is that a word?
Maniacal is, yeah.
Maniacal. Thank you.
Muppets. Maniacal laugh.
Another
Maniacal
great movie.
laugh.
No, this is a perfect movie. Absolutely.
Lucy, you're quite new to this.
Yeah.
Family movie nights, and then you messaged the group chat saying, "Oh, we're doing Shawshank," and you were very blasé. Mm-hmm. And I tried to illuminate to you that you were going to have a religious experience.
A walk and a talk that just wasn't normal around here.
There are places in the world that aren't made out of stone. There's something inside they can't touch.
What are you talking about?
Hope.
Let me tell you something, my friend. Hope is a dangerous thing.
Damn it, dear friend, you're putting me behind.
But you passed me off.
I did. I've only seen it once. And it was my dad that made me watch it. The night previous, I'd made my entire family watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and they all hated it. So at that time, I hated my family, and I really did not want to sit down and watch a film with them for, is it 2 hours 20?
2 hours. It's the quickest 2 hours 22 ever.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling sitting down with them and watching it. But it was great.
And it all starts with that great opening line. Mr. Dufresne, describe the confrontation you had with your wife the night she was murdered. When you first saw it then, Lucy, because when I first saw it, I was very, very young. I was in my old house, and it was on a TV that wasn't flat screen, and it went out about that much at the back. And I think I was old enough where it was like questionable whether I should be watching it. My sister's 2 years younger, And so the thing with Isabel was, oh, she won't remember it. It's fine. So if I'm remembering it rightly, I think Isabel was 6 and I was 8. And it was Channel 4, so it was like 9:30, and we were all sat around as a family. And my mum was very good, actually, with, you know, these are the good films, these are the films you need to watch. Her only thing was sex. She always skipped sex scenes. I mean, I understand her not just not skipping them. But, like, if there was a movie where it was, like, too much sex, I wouldn't be able to buy it on DVD. Violence and swearing was absolutely fine. But American Psycho, for some reason, was one of the ones she really held off on. I mean, I understand. My children are going to be, like, I'm going to be terrible with it. Hopefully I get a wife who has a bit more sense and doesn't let me show these graphic films to my children. But anyway, and it came on and it was Channel 4, and it was, this film contains strong language and graphic violence from the start. And my dad just went, Sarah, turn it off. Sarah, this isn't right. And then new fish scene starts. Oh, you fucking fat ass, come here! It's like,
Drive a man insane.
You better be sick or dead in there, I kid you not.
Better get used to that idea.
Oh, my holy God.
I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
Get busy living, or get busy dying. That's damn right.
And my dad just went, Sarah, this isn't right. And I watched it until I think Brooke's dying, and then we put the VHS in and taped it. And all day, I was at school, and I was like, ooh, how is he going to get out? How is he going to get out? And is he going to get out? And then I came home. I went to my grandma and my granddad's first, and my granddad, who loved the film, he was like, what do you think? What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? And I did actually, I remember this, I did say, I think he's going to dig a tunnel because the walls are too big. And then he was like, oh, well, I don't know. And then I came home and watched it. And from that point on, really. Will, do you remember the first time you saw Shawshank?
It was recently, if I'm honest. It was probably in sixth form. Yeah, it was. It must have just been on telly, like on a Sunday. Another one of those Sunday.
It is on every other day.
On your lap.
It's great.
It is.
I think I told this on a previous podcast, but me and my dad were flicking channels the other night last week, and we sat, and it was when Tommy was arriving, and we just sat and watched the last hour of the film, and I knew, because we'd scheduled, that I would need to watch that full film again within the week. Didn't care. Flew by, and it flew by yesterday as well when I rewatched it. Best YouTube comments. Let's see if people are agreeing with us. During this movie, I cried, screamed, laughed, and cried. At what point would you scream? I understand the rest. Where would you scream? There's no scary parts. Maybe Elmo Black. She's pretty frightening. I remember watching this masterpiece in a theatre. On the way out, a man waiting for the next session asked me how was the movie. I opened my mouth, but I could not actually speak because I knew this movie I just watched was a masterpiece of art. This man, witnessing my silence, just said, I think I know. 25 years later, I remember it as if it was yesterday. He's talking like he's read. 25 years later, I remember as if it was yesterday. Shawshank, A Place with No Hope. Andy, a guy with hope. Sort of break it down. Just saw this movie minutes ago. This movie makes me cry. We get it. There was a big thing I noticed in the comments. Apparently one of the Koreans, the BTS people, recommended this. And so half of the comments are, I'm here because Taewang?
No idea.
I'm here
They're not my favourite band, if I'm honest.
Half of the comments are, Taewang recommended this, that's why I'm here. And then Jeremy's just snapped. We get it. Taewang got you here. Now stop typing it in the comments and go watch this masterpiece. Tweet your thanks to Taewang after you've done. Just stop posting the same comments as everybody else. And then Elvis Nation. I'm sorry if I offended you, But who is Taewon? I'm here because my bro reminded me of this movie. I watched it as little. I remember being it really good, but I see people talking about that guy. Not promise. For a simple man like me, the best film ever made. And then somebody's broke the Taewon chain. I'm here because Louis Tomlinson said it was his favourite film.
Oh, wow.
So everybody loves... I mean, everybody does love Shawshank. I think that's also when I, you know, because I am a snob. There is obviously the thing of like, everybody loves this film. And this, if like the amount of people who, because that's just one of my go-to questions is what's your favourite film? And they always say Shawshank Redemption. Because it's just a good answer. And most people, and as I said, as I opened up with, there's no shame in that. There's no shame. No shame at all. It's now time for, bloody hell, where's my sheet? Best 10-minute stretch. Will, do you want to take us off?
I would love to. The escape scene is nice. It's a nice scene. It's pretty. I think there's no other answer to that, is there?
I think it is the escape. Runners up. Bud's on the roof, shuffling the tar. And it's not maybe the most rewatchable, but Brooks's leaving the prison.
Yeah, we're going to say Brooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Brooks was here. Oh, poor James Whitmore. I mean, James Whitmore's not dead, I should say. Poor Brooks. Unequivocally, though, it's the escape. I think from cell morning, like, end of frame, you better be sick or dying in there, I kid you not. From that point onwards until the end of the film, that final half hour, unassailable. It is incredible. And I'm going to bust one of my big questions now. When people say happiest moments and stuff, you know, you always think of like, I don't know, there's something about Mary, like the dog scene, or like comedies or something, or You When Harry Met Sally's. For me, the two happiest scenes of all time that make me happy is that final 30 of Shawshank, and just the release and the joy of seeing this man who has overcome so much break free and drive down the Pacific to a place with no memory, or it's Wonderful Life, the final scene of It's Wonderful Life. Both of those, perfection.
I'm very sorry to stop you there, Tom, but just to clear things up with our viewers, James Whitmore is in fact dead. He died in 2009.
No.
It's like, was it that ITV show, The Masked Singer, when they have to, there's like...
When they brought James Whitmore's corpse?
No, the premise is they've got all these celebrities dressed up in masks, and the judges have to guess. There was an episode where... The Masked Singer
is, well, it's been one of the most popular things in the past year.
Very, but there was an episode where Jonathan Ross was like, I think it's Natalie Cole, who's been dead about 5 years, and there was just outrage.
Why would they keep it in? It's not like they don't have editing software.
That is hilarious.
Oh. Yeah, Jonathan Ross said, "Is that James Whitmore? Is that Brooks from Shawshank?"
I thought that's where you were going with it.
Yeah, is that Brooks Hatland from the Shawshank Redemption? Poor Brooks. And thanks, Will. Poor James Whitmore. Lucy, if you were going to play devil's advocate and pick a runner-up for best 10-minute stretch, what's coming to your mind, other than Brooks and Buds?
I mean, not 10 minutes, but when the warden shoots himself, that's
that
for me the best point in the whole film. Because
I've got that in single minute. We do have the category of single minute.
Yeah, that'd be it for me. Because him escaping, Andy escaping, I didn't get that sense of relief when he's standing in the rain and it's all pouring down him, because in my head, my heart was still beating. I was going, get away from there. They're going to find you. They're going to capture you. In my head, they were going to recapture him. So I was like, get away, run. Like, just keep going. But yeah, the warden shooting himself. Amazing.
Incredible. Slam down of the newspaper. Corruption. Greed at Shawshank Redemption. DA has file. And then he looks straight away.
Sirens come in. Wow.
And that judgment, his judgment come right soon. And he goes straight over. Never looked at his books, because why would you? He's got bigger things on his mind. He opens it up. That's not a ledger. It's the Holy Bible. Flicks it. You were right, Warden. Salvation lies within. It's incredible. And then he flips it, and he gets his gun. Is he going to shoot them? What? He seems like a respectable man, as much as it is. You didn't think it would end in a big blood fight, and then I'd like to think the last thing that went through Warden Norton's head, other than that bullet, was wondering how Andy Dufresne ever got the best of him. Incredible. Let's get this out of the way now. Is Warden Norton the best villain of the past 30 years? Is it 30 years now? Just 30 years, isn't it? Because it's 94. Wait, can't do math. So over 20. Yeah, no, 30 years is right. Yeah, 30. And is he one of the best characters? I don't know why I love Warden Norton so much.
Well,
I mean, I hate him.
In saying this, you're contrasting your statement about Phoenix Buchanan being the greatest villain of the last.
Yeah, but that's hyper. Phoenix is second. Right.
You were on the Paddington High at the time.
If we're going to actually do it, it's past 30 years, Warden Norton, Phoenix Buchanan, Ledger Joker, Anton Chigurh, No Country for Old Men, and Silence is 91. Silence is 91. So actually, Lecter's top of the list. If we're talking 30 years, Lecter just pips it. Lecter just gets in. Okay. So, well, anyway, well, that's for another day. Tom's weirdly specific favourite part of the film. I mean, this is my favourite film of all time. So I've got an awful lot. I managed to tie it down to just 9. Opening court trial. Don't you find that very convenient? Well, since I'm on trial for murder, I find it decidedly inconvenient. He doesn't do himself many favours in that court trial. He is very cold. I mean, I know that he's got a lot of evidence against him, but also he looks like a murderer. I mean, I know he's on trial and his mind, and he must be going through tremendous depression and anxiety, and it's insane what he's going through, as well as the grief of losing his wife, whether she was cheating or not. But he also is very stiff.
Yeah, you see, I thought he was guilty to start off
with. I was going to say this because I've long since forgot because I was a small child. But yeah, at what point? I mean, obviously Elmo Blatch, one of the great character names of all time. But did you think all the way up till Elmo that he was guilty? Yeah.
It was always in my head. I didn't know whether it was going to be, could be guilty or could not. You never find out if it was or wasn't. But at the beginning I did think, yeah.
I remember I was sleeping over at my grandma Chris's when I was a child, and she used to tape like 5 films that were on in the week. And she like vaguely knew what I liked and vaguely didn't. One time she looked on Shawshank, and we watched the first 30 minutes, and I was very anxious because she doesn't like swearing really. And I remember Christmas Day, again, where I was very young, and my mum taped a Mickey Flanagan comedy special, and I was sat with Grandma Chris holding her hand. And it was like, you know you're gonna get a blowjob when you buy her a steak Diane, and she just crippled my hand. She was holding it so tightly, and so I was reliving. So you get Byron in the first scene, you maggot dick motherfucker, and my grandma's going, oh, it's not good. And then I remember the new fish scene where Byron beats up the poor fat guy, and my grandma just went, well, they get what they deserve, they're in prison. And I thought, I've never saw it from this point of view before. I think the book, we'll get to Tom's book corner, but obviously in the book, you know straight away why Red's in there. You know why Brooks is in there. I think a good way, and I think it's not a cheat, but I think a good way that they let you feel such empathy for these people is that you never know why they're in there, apart from obviously Andy and Tommy. But it's just a lot more complex film, and I think in a way that removes some of the complexity of the story and some of the complexity of them being prisoners and you feeling sympathy for them.
Yeah, morally, is that right to feel sympathy towards them? Because I was thinking that throughout the whole film. Because
Red, basically, it's the opening paragraph of the book. Basically, he was a young, stupid man, and he put an insurance policy on his wife and cut her brakes to get, because they were shit out of money. And the wife obviously died, but she also picked up the neighbour and the neighbour's daughter, saying that she'd drop him off at the shop. So he ended up killing 3 people. And I think you get all of that emotion and regret and pain in the 3 parole hearings and in his I'm the only guilty man in Shawshank, where he just admits it to Andy. There's no, the lawyer fucks me, there's no lying, he admits it. And obviously you get that in the 3 paroles. We'll get to it in fun facts. I've got it down, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. Oh no, I do remember why Brooks is in there. I think it's because he got drunk after a gambling loss and then shot his wife. But I can't remember exactly. We'll get to it in a few fun facts, as much as a fun fact as that is. The 3 paroles, Red's 3 different parole hearings. You could make an argument that that is the best scene of Morgan Freeman's entire career. The 3rd parole hearing, undoubtedly incredible. Devastatingly good. Knife in the jaw. I know it's weird to say it's one of my favourite parts because it's a rape scene, but I do like when Andy gives in the science and he says, if you stab that, then my jaw will clench shut and you will have to pry me loose.
Like crow.
So, yeah. So in many ways, it's one of my favourite scenes. The Gilda hair flip. I mean, who doesn't love Rita Hayworth? And that, Gilda, are you decent? Ooh, me?
Gilda, are you decent?
Me?
Incredible. And I love Red's reaction. Great stuff. William Sadler as Haywood has 2 great moments where he has the horse shit and he's like, hey, I got a rock. And he splits it open and it's horse shit. And he also has the great Alexandra Dumas, which leads on to obviously Red's Andy being very astute. You'd like it. It's about a prison escape. And Red, well, maybe we should file that under educational. The turning up the music on The Marriage of Figaro.
Oh, yeah.
And he leans back.
Oh my God, there's so many good parts.
It's an incredible film.
Yeah, I keep forgetting.
The river, as much as you were riddled with anxiety, just that he doesn't care. Just the rain coming out of here rips his shirt off. I mean, come on, Andy, pick up that suit and in the plastic bag and just put that on the side of the river. But instead of just standing there in the shit swamp. But just the rain. And I love when the music dips out for just a second and you just hear him go, it's great stuff. Caged Bird monologue, which I opened with. And then probably my favourite is Andy in his car driving. Andy Dufresne, who crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side. Andy Dufresne.
Think of my favourite line.
Oh, sorry, Will. Which leads us on to Will's more general favourite part of the film.
There we go. This is actually a general part of the film rather than a specific 9 points. It's the buds on the roof with you can get 35 grand. That's all of that is wonderful.
He does himself no favours there either. He should not open up with the line, "Do you trust your wife?"
Well, it's like we were saying with Indecent Proposal with, I went to see him.
Yeah. I know it's a film, but these people need to get better opening lines when they're dealing with volatile people. And he needs to open it with, "I'm a banker, I know how you can have that money." Not, "Do you think your wife would hamstring you?" Oh.
I love Andy's little smile when he's spoilers when he escapes, and he's sat at the bank getting his money, and he's just like,
"What's his name? Oh. What's the fake man's name?"
I don't know.
RS.
Randy Suffrain.
Randall Stevens. You got Randy right.
I did.
Well, maybe it's just a Freudian, one of those Freudian clits.
I've got Morgan looking at him at the end on the beach.
Oh, incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I have a controversial opinion. I think the movie should have ended before they met.
Well, that's the alternate ending.
I didn't like the beach scene.
Yeah. Well, that's the original ending. That's how the film was supposed to end, because that's how the book ends. It ends with him on the bus. "I hope I'll see my friend again. I hope. I hope." And they saw all the test screenings, and basically the studio said, "We will give you another $1 million to go to a foreign beach and shoot that scene." I like the scene. I do think it's needed.
Do you?
Yeah. I just think it's the final note, isn't it, on the symphony? It's just, you've got the big build, and then you need that fact. It's a very different ending, and you can still. I just don't think that's this film. I think 2 points. I think it's a tremendously justified happy ending. It's not like, I don't know, he hasn't been through a literal river of shit. It feels so justified that they do get that ending. And also, I think if it does end with I hope, then for the next 26 years, all the questions around the film is, do they ever get together? Do they ever see each other again? And I just don't think that's the ending. I just think maybe that's because I've had 26 years. Well, I haven't had 26 years, but we've had, as a culture, 26 years of, they do get together, happy ending.
Right.
I just don't know. I mean, it was the original ending. It's definitely not out there. I think you just need it. And I'm not one for, saccharine. We'll talk about Forrest Gump when we talk about the Oscars. But Forrest Gump's a film that I think is obscenely corny. And I think loses a lot of points because of that. And I think it's the power of the 2 hours 21 before it, where that ending, it's beautiful. I mean, it's a lot better than a Butterfly. We'll talk about the play. We'll talk about the play later. Have you got any more general favourite parts of the film, Will?
I've got Red's monologue at the end in 1966, End of Rain Escaped the whole. Oh, he only did it in 20 years. I think that little chunk of.
I would have thought it would take 600 years to tunnel through the wall. One of those. It took Andy less than 20. Good stuff. Lucy, have you got anything you want to throw in for just pure favourite parts?
I wouldn't say favourite part, but the scene where Tommy's killed.
Yeah.
That I literally screamed.
Oh, so, that's the scream then. There we go. Like the YouTube comment. There we go. We figured it out.
It was Lucy's comment.
It was me. Yeah, screamed at the TV.
It's just. Do you swear that you will testify?
I was like, no, say no. Yeah.
And what does he say? That's what I thought. Pats him on the back. Single second glance to Hadley. Puts the cigarette out. Warden. Evil. And then that leads into one of my favourites. But we'll get to it in best single minute. But when the warden comes to see Andy in solitary, is one of the best monologues of all time in a film. Any film, flawless. Oscar travesty, let's just get to it. Right. It's tumultuous. It
didn't win a single one, did it?
Yeah, no, I think that's right. Best picture, Forrest Gump, Four Weddings, Pulp Fiction, Quiz Show, Shawshank. Forrest Gump is the fourth best film there. I'm going Shawshank, Pulp, Quiz Show, Forrest Gump.
Oh.
We talked about Quiz Show the other week because we were on a Redford conversation. I just don't know how, and it's not like, because in a way I understand Pulp Fiction not winning. We, take it for granted now how in 1994 that was like, a shot of, well, not heroin obviously, a shot of adrenaline, pardon the pun, but Shawshank's, for as incredible as it is, Shawshank's an easy Best Picture winner. It's like not controversial. It's it's easy going. It's a relatively regular story.
It's one of those it was just unfortunately a great year. Any other year, it would have won.
Best Director, not even a nomination for Frank Darabont. That's
terrible.
Maddening.
Yeah.
Get rid of.
Well,
no, they are. People forget how much people loved the Three Colours trilogy. They're all great films, but just get Darabont in there because I'm not losing Woody. Bullets Over Broadway is a phenomenal film, better than Phones and a Funeral and funnier. And Zemeckis for Forrest Gump. It's a very well directed film. It's not the best Zemeckis film. Best Actor. Oh my good God. Tom Hanks for Forrest Gump. Again, he's fine. But Morgan Freeman. Come on, man. And also, let's get to this now. Where's Tim Robbins?
Oh.
Neither supporting or best actor. Absolutely maddening. And also,
John Travolta.
We do get John Travolta.
That shouldn't have been a nomination.
No, he's good in that. I mean, he's not as good as.
He's not good enough to be nominated for an Oscar.
No.
In Pulp Fiction, Bruce Willis. That should have been the supporting.
Well, Bruce is good in that.
Yeah,
who's terrible in that? Bruce's girlfriend. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to make a blueberry pancakes? I want you to make oral sex with me. Jesus Christ. I don't know whether she's supposed to be sexy or funny or cute, and she's nothing. I mean, I haven't seen Nobody's Fool. I love Paul Newman. Madness of King George III is good. Nigel Hawthorne. But no, you need Morgan Freeman to win for Best Actor. You need Tim Robbins. I mean, I do love Tim Robbins, though, in this.
Question,
but also...
Tim Robbins,
yeah, go on.
what has he been on?
The Player, which is incredible. He was married to Susan Sarandon for a long time. They made Dead Man Walking together, but he directed that. I don't think he's in it. Bull Durham's very good. Bloody hell, what else we got? Tim Robbins has always been one where I was like, give him more. Why isn't Tim Robbins it shouldn't just have to double bill The Player and Shawshank. I want more. And I also want Bob Gunton as Warden Norton to be nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Martin Landau, Ed Wood, incredible. Obviously Samuel L. Jackson's incredible. This is the problem though. All 5 of those are pretty brilliant.
Yeah. I'd
maybe skip Paul Schofield. Give somebody else a year. Paul Schofield's been nominated for a lot. There's no women in the film, so I'm afraid they don't get anything this year. Best Screenplay based on material previously produced. Forrest Gump winning again. Not a big fan of that. Shawshank definitely deserves that Oscar. It's not foreign. What else was it nominated for or not nominated for? The score is astoundingly good. I forget how good the score is.
But then The Lion King is exceptional.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer. If he's up there, he's going to win, isn't he? He's great.
But I prefer his Rain Man score. But anyway, but when you think of The Lion King, hum me now a theme from The Lion King that isn't the Elton John songs. Okay, maybe it's because I don't watch The Lion King at all. But
I also have the full orchestral score, so you're at a disadvantage there. That could be the opening.
But is it as good? But is it as good as Shawshank?
It's better.
That's like The Shining, actually. But is there a better music cue of score music than the pulling of the poster and then this could be a new segment, Will and Tom hum back and forth. 3 nominations. Hakuna Matata, Circle of Life, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Is Can You Feel the Love Tonight the best of those?
No.
It's Circle of Life, by far.
Oh, Hakuna Matata, I'd say.
Ooh, we're split.
Oh.
Best cinematography, Legends of the Fall? Are you having a laugh? Anthony Hopkins, when he's got his little chalkboard because he's had a stroke and he's like, I love you. It's all right. It's not as beautifully shot. Well, there we go. Roger Deakins famously. Was it 18? He lost in a row? And then he's now won twice in a row for Blade Runner and 1970. Okay, well, we'll get to that later, don't you worry. Will's favourite building or set? I'm excited to hear what you think this time, Will.
Well, I'm spoiled for choice. Do you know what? It's Shawshank Prison.
What if you were being more specific? Favourite part of Shawshank Prison?
I like the shot where you've got all of the rooms at the sides, and you've got, that's nice. But there's also the library. The library's nice.
Brooke Hatland Memorial Library.
That's what you want to be to say.
When Red is carving Brooks's name, gets me every time. It's Brooke Hatland Memorial Library. Beautiful. Beautiful. We'll get to best line where I deliver all of these.
I think you might have. You might share. Well, of course you will, because all of the lines are your best line.
We're not at best line yet. Best soundtrack titles. Again, we just talked about this soundtrack, and it's got some great titles on it. I don't know why I did that. That's disgusting. May, Stoic Theme, New Fish, Rockhammer, An Inch of His Life, Brooks Was Here, His Judgment Cometh, Suds on the Roof, Workfield, Shawshank Redemption, Elmo Blatch, great name, Sisters, Zewataneo, Lovely Raquel, And that right soon, compass and guns, so was red. Beautiful stuff. You know what it is?
Did it?
Sorry? It didn't win. Bloody Elton. He won again, didn't he, this year for I'm Gonna Love Me Again. Hey, I'm a very best friend. Which was a good song. Yeah. Best single minute. It's either poster reveal, but I do love shoe reveal. When Warden Norton flips his shoebox and it's those mucky shoes, and then he looks up and the siren starts, and you go, he's done it. And then it's straight into, I want him found, and everybody on this Cell interview, starting with that little friend of his, who? Him! Points him straight out. Incredible character. And then, Warden's monologue to Andy in Solitary, and then the Warden's suicide. William?
You've got, poster reveal, Warden's suicide, but I also really like that moment of optimism when Tommy acquits Andy. That sudden change in, and you see him, whoa. And there's not a beat where you get that relief, because it's straight into him going to see the Warden. That's an incredible story. What I found more incredible is that you were taken in by it. And then, how can you be so obtuse? What did you just call me? Obtuse? Is it deliberate? The Family Guy do that. And he's sat there being an obtuse sound. Now you're being acute. It's great. It's a great gag.
Height of comedy. Lucy, you bet you've blown your load a little early with revealing the Warden's suicide, but have you got another favourite single minute?
The bank scene when he's sat there, and it took me a while to clock how amazing he is in creating a full identity, and then once I did clock it out, brilliant.
And then, can you put this in your outgoing mail? It'd be my pleasure.
Yep.
Beautiful. I mean, he does very well to not stink a shit. He must have some industrial strength shower.
A bath of bleach.
Yeah, and to drag that. I mean, that's the only nitpick, because my biggest change
around his leg.
My biggest change is everybody's nitpicks are all wrong and stupid. So we're going to have a round where you try and find a flaw in the film, and I'll knock you back. But that's the only one that, for him to drag that suit in that plastic bag, that must be the strongest plastic bag in the entire world.
You'd put it in front of you, wouldn't you? And you'd push it with you.
Oh, do you think he's worried he'll lose it?
Yeah, he's keeping it. Well, if you lose a suit,
because he's tied it around his shoe, so he'll feel the rope loosen.
Actually, that would have been a great scene if it just suddenly.
And he has to go to the bank in his shitty clothes. Excuse me.
He gets to the end of the shit fight. He gets to the end, and then he realises, shit, I've forgotten. I certainly has to go backwards.
He crawled 7 miles that day. That's the length of 7 football fields, because he had to go back 2 miles because he lost his shitty suit. Go on, Lucy. What were you going to say?
I didn't understand how it worked out so perfectly, in that the thunder and lightning was happening on this day, which meant that he could break through the tube, which meant that no one heard him. Which, do you know what I mean? It all sort of led up. Coincidentally.
Okay, we'll start this now. Just fire your nitpicks back and forth.
Yeah.
That's my biggest one. He's got the library, so there'll be old records in the library that he can look at, weather reports, but also, even if there's not thunder, there will be some sort of sound.
Yeah, also,
who's going to hear bang, bang, bang? Sorry, what?
Well, they're going to hear it because he's using the thunder to mask it. But then the thunder and lightning happens. He waits about 5 seconds, and then he hammers. You do it. You want to sync up. That is my nitpick.
What if he did the Chinatown? What if he did the Chinatown where he coughs to rip the page out and he just thinks his cough will be loud enough and then he realises his plan's gone wrong? He's like, bang! Oh no, oh, they can't hear it. And then they... Why didn't Scary Movie or something do a gag where somebody's going to do the pipe and he doesn't get out of the way in time? Any other single minutes? Let's jump straight into best line. Get ready for this. It's cheaper than watching the film. There's not a day goes by where I don't feel regret. Not because I'm in here, because you think I should. I look back on the way I was then, a young, stupid kid who committed that terrible crime. I want to talk to him. I want to try and talk some sense to him. Tell him the way things are. But I can't. That kid's long gone, and this old man is all that's left. I got to live with that. Rehabilitated? It's just a bullshit word, so you can go on and stamp your form, Sonny, and stop wasting my time. Because to tell you the truth, I don't give a shit. Is that the one where he gets accepted? How many people think are going to get away with that?
Yeah.
It's pretty good, though. I find I'm so excited I can barely sit still or hold a thought in my head. I think it's the excitement only a free man can feel. A free man at the start of a long journey whose conclusion is uncertain. I hope I can make it across the border. I hope to see my friend and shake his hand. I hope the Pacific is as blue as it has been in my dreams. I hope. I love how he whispers. Dear fellas, I can't believe how fast things move on the outside. I saw an automobile once when I was a kid, but now they're everywhere. The world went and got itself in a great big hurry. I go to the park and feed the birds. I keep thinking Jake might just show up and say hello, but he never does. I hope wherever he is, he's doing okay and making new friends. I have trouble sleeping at night. I have bad dreams like I'm falling. I wake up scared. Sometimes it takes me a while to remember where I am. I don't like it here. I'm tired of being afraid all the time. I've decided not to stay. I doubt they'll kick up any fuss. Not for an old crook like me. Brooks. Incredible. Absolutely astounding. Maybe you could give James Whitmore like the Anthony Hopkins, like, you know, or the Ned Beatty getting nominated for only like 5 minutes of work in Network. Maybe give him a supporting actor nomination. I just don't see why this isn't a Godfather, where like you have 3 nominations in the Best Actor. You had Brando for Best Actor, and then in Best Supporting, you had Pacino, Caan, and Duvall, I think. Anyway. This should have just been a sweep. This should have just been a sweep at the Oscars. We sat and drank with the sun on our shoulders and felt like free men. Hell, we could have been tarring the roof of one of our own houses. We were the lords of all creation. As for Andy, he spent that break hunkered in the shade, a strange little smile on his face, watching us drink his beer. Is Andy Dufresne the nicest man in the world?
Why did he do that? I thought that. Why did he choose to get beers for the boys when he could have used that to his advantage and done something else?
Like what?
Because he wants to get the inmates on his side as well.
And he's a nice man.
Mm.
What would you have done then?
I don't know. The selfish part of me. I don't know. Like, got some. I don't know. Like,
got a nicer cell.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Or
Mackies.
Got cigarettes, or you know what I mean. Something.
Because he gets enough favour because he gets in with all the racketeering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
can I have some racks?
Well, what? I see you two all the time. You're thick as thieves, you are. He must have said something. Honest one, not a word. Lord, it's a miracle. Man went up and vanished like a fan in the wind. Nothing left but some damn rocks on the windowsill. And that cupcake on the wall. Let's ask her. Maybe she knows. What say you there, fuzzy britches? Feel like talking? Oh, guess not. Why should she be any different? It's a conspiracy. That's what it is. One big damn conspiracy. And everybody's in on it. Including her. Ding, 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 ding. It's a single fingering. Sorry, that wasn't meant to sound like that. However, it's not as good as it's not as good as this. I'm sure by now you've heard. Terrible thing. Man that young less than a year ago, trying to escape. Broke Captain Hadley's heart to shoot him. Truly it did. We just have to put it behind us. Move on. I'm done. Everything stops. Get someone else to run your scams. Nothing stops. Nothing. Or you will do the hardest time there is. No more protection from the guards. I'll pull you out of that one bunk Hilton and cash you down with the sodomites. You'll think you've been fucked by a train. And the library? Gone. Sealed off, brick by brick. We'll have ourselves a little buck barbecue in the yard. They'll see the flames for miles. We'll dance around it like wild Indians. You understand me? Catching my drift? Or am I being obtuse? Give him another month to think about it. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely incredible. Just astoundingly good. Go on then, what's the change?
Am I not allowed to say my favourite line?
No. Moving on.
And go on, Will. What's your favourite line?
We've got a few. We've got Andy Dufresne who crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side. Great. We've got. I like it when he says, "On the outside, I was an honest man, but I had to come to prison to be a crook." That's a great line. I think one of my favourites is Brooks when he says, "Easy peasy Japanesey." That's a great one because he just can't find anything else to rhyme.
That's not. That's a famous rhyme. People say that all the time. I mean,
is it?
Yeah. I've never heard that.
It's the first time I heard of it.
Easy peasy. Maybe it's just me.
Maybe.
Oh no, people say nowadays they say easy peasy lemon squeezy, don't they?
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have lemons.
More politically correct.
Yeah. I like when he's like, "When do we eat? You eat when you eat. You piss when you piss." And that.
You shit when we say you shit. You mega dick motherfucker.
Yes.
You barrel of monkey spunk.
I like. I want to go. I want my mother. I had your mother. She wasn't that great. That's a good one. And they're my favourite lines. Thank you for letting me do that.
Oh, it's all right. I've obliged you, Lucy.
I mean, you've said all the good ones. The one that got me a little bit was the "How often do you look at a man's shoes?"
I say that all the time. Me and my family say that all the time now.
Really?
Every time anybody mentions my shoes, or my mum's like, "You can't wear, like, I haven't got any socks or whatever," and I put white socks on with black shoes or something just to, because I haven't got any socks. She'll go, "What are you doing?" I'll say, "How many times do you actually look at men's shoes?"
I thought that would be the fault with it because I think I'd notice if someone's walking with shiny shoes that are clopping on the floor. You know, I think I'd pick up on that. Yeah.
No, you don't, do you? It's the 1940s. People aren't wearing Alexander McQueen. I don't look at people's shoes. I mean, maybe I don't give a shit. To tell you the truth, I don't give a shit. What's left from Will's notes?
Not much. You've covered them all, Tom.
This is my favourite film. I would be remiss to not lay claim. The opening helicopter shot, astounding. It's not exactly the opening, But beautiful. Butt steak, Byron Hadley, another great Byron Hadley comment. Do you speak English, butt steak? I've never heard that one. Let's talk about the play. So we all went to see the play. So Will, had you seen the film? Or did you just lie to me?
I had seen the film before the play.
Okay. And Lucy, you hadn't?
Did not know what it was. I mean, I'd seen the Family Guy parody.
Right, yeah.
So I got the general gist of it, but no, did not know it was going to happen.
When we saw the play, I hadn't read the short story. So all of the changes from the film, I thought were in the short story. None of them are.
Are they not? Oh.
The most...
with Brooks setting fire?
So Brooks, in the play... which was it was all right. It was a fine night at the theatre. It was a lot of it wasn't great, but I think a lot of this stuff was nostalgia. Well, not nostalgia, but it was getting all of the good things were things from the film and the novel. There was nothing of its own merit. The performances were all right. It was fine, but there was lots of changes in the play. For instance, Brooks, instead of, that beautiful, heartfelt monologue that breaks your heart and really drives home the power of institutionalization, instead, Brooks got on a stepladder, poured gasoline over himself, and was like, I'm gonna burn myself. And it was like a comedy scene. How deftly I can put this, but the rape scenes with the sisters, for some reason they thought, okay, what if the rape was dependent on a chess game? Because Andy plays chess, and so in the play, Boggs is like, okay, let's play chess, and Andy loses, and then we fade to black, and Boggs starts screaming, "Who's the king? Who's the king?" These, these are very subtle meditations in the film and the book on, the horror of trauma. And you've suddenly got astoundingly bad decisions. And then obviously you don't have the power of voiceover or passing time. So the play ends with Red stood there for 15 minutes. It suddenly turned into a shitty one-man play, and he had a box of props, and he was like, I got paroled last week, and he puts a new hat on and a new jacket, and then he's like, and it broke out. Oh, really, really quite bad. And then suddenly, all of the budget apparently got spent on a retractable set, which pulled apart, and there was a sunset horizon and a little butterfly. Do you remember Lucy saying that the butterfly, you really liked the butterfly?
Yeah.
And he saw a little butterfly and he was like, oh, freedom.
Yeah.
None of this is in the book. and I thought, okay, so maybe because they realised that they're never going to be as good as the film, maybe they did that classic thing of when people remake things and they're like, well, it's not a remake of the film. We're going back to the original novel. It wasn't that at all. And a prime example of this is it was actually in the West End for a while at the Wyndham's Theatre, and it was the first play in West End history. You won't believe this. The investigation is the first in West End history and could have huge implications for advertising films and books. Because basically, they used a review on the front of the theatre saying that The Shawshank Redemption was a superbly gripping and genuinely uplifting drama. They were talking about the film, and it was from a review for the play, and then it went on to review the play, and he kept saying that it was, in almost every respect, the stage version is inferior to the movie. It was a rather... this allows for a maximum of 2 years in jail and unlimited fine. The show closes on Sunday and nobody's complained to producers. It is just a description of the story. So, a bit naughty there. This was at the Wyndhams. I didn't even know it got to the Wyndhams. We just saw it at Sheffield
last year.
Sheffield
Just
last
over
year.
there.
I think,
Brilliant.
in a way, I get it as a businessman. Not the wrong quoting, the play thing. I'm like, okay, this is a play that's can always tour. People will always pay to go see it because they like the film. Makes sense. It's like Blood Brothers. I mean, well, Blood Brothers is good, but it's like it can always tour because people, obviously struggle. And I sound like an arsehole, but like my mum hates straight plays. She just hates them. She says, I don't like them when they don't. I don't like it. I just don't like it when they just talk. Like she went to watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in the 90s, and she loves One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Good grief! And it's now my third favorite film of all time, and she just couldn't stick it. She was just like, and they were just they just were all on and just stayed in one room. She was very annoyed by it. Tom's book corner. Oh no, sorry. What's left from Tom's notes? The play. Can you name the 3 women posters?
Rita.
Full names.
Hayworth.
Yep.
And I cannot name you another.
Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, I was going to say that.
And Raquel Welch, the one that gets ripped down. Anyway, Tom's book corner. This is it's a novella from Stephen King's Different Seasons, originally titled Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption. Stephen King has put 2, what's it called where there's a quote at the start of the book? Epigraph. Epigraph?
Epilogue?
No, not an epilogue. An epigraph.
I
think it's epigraph. Anyway, and he's done Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, AC/DC, and I Heard It Through the Grapevine, Norman Whitfield. Anyway, your big changes are, we know what Red's done. Red's a white ginger Irish man.
Oh.
And that's why he's called Red.
Red, that makes sense.
And so they turned it into a joke for the film. So like they did like 3 months of casting, just not even considering black people. Brooks is a paragraph. He's just in and out. They don't give anything to him. Red used to get raped too. And he gives advice to Andy. And Tommy doesn't get shot. He just gets transferred to a different prison, a lower security prison for easier time. There are like 5 wardens over the 20 years instead of 1. Hadley is retired by the time Andy escapes. Lots of little things, and also you've got the thing of it's obviously a short story this time, and so they are adding things instead of Hannibal, which we'll get to in a couple of weeks, which has to cut things and has to cut an awful lot because that is one big messy book. Alternate ending corner, we've already talked about it. Obviously, the original ending was it cuts on I hope.
So he cuts, has he already gone to the field?
Yeah, he goes to the field.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, it cuts on when he's on the bus and he's like, I feel I can hardly hold a thought in my head. I hope I can see my friend again. I hope. And it's that.
Oh, I would have preferred that ending.
Yeah.
I really
well, that's how the novel
yeah.
ends. That's how the novel ends with, with I hope. But also, if you're talking about stretches of realism, once you've got Red finding a case under a rock in all of Buxton, just go the whole hog and find him on a beach. Even I can admit that, and this is my favourite film. Few fun facts. Let's throw these out. The man who cried and was beaten when Andy first arrived is listed and credited as Fat Ass.
Suitable, yes.
Oh, these are Shit, they've not loaded properly. Andy and Red's opening chat in the prison yard, in which Red is throwing a baseball, took 9 hours to shoot. Morgan Freeman threw the baseball for the entire 9 hours without a word of complaint. He showed up for work the next day wearing a sling.
Wow.
Frank Darabont watched Goodfellas every Sunday while shooting the film to draw inspiration from it on the use of voiceover and the passage of time. Although it is never directly stated in the film, Brooks is in prison for allegedly murdering his wife. Oh, sorry, here we are, yeah, sorry. For allegedly murdering his wife and daughter after a losing streak at poker. The mugshots of a young Red are Morgan Freeman's son.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Jon Favreau, your favourite Will, was originally auditioned for the role of Fat Ass. He later told Empire magazine that it was the worst audition he had ever done and encouraged him to try and lose weight. And that's when he got the role of the wrestler in Friends, Monica's boyfriend. Rob Reiner loved Frank Darabont's script, who we've done a lot of Rob Reiner before. We've done, well, no, we've not done a lot. We've done one. We've done When Harry Met Sally. Right, yeah, no, Rob Reiner, big fan of mine. He loved the script so much, he offered $2.5 million for the script so that he could direct it. And he said to Frank Darabont, you sell me this script and I will finance your next film. Whatever you want it to be, we will make the film at Castle Rock. We will make it. But Frank stood his ground and he said, no, I want to make Shawshank. Rob Reiner's original casting was Harrison Ford as Red and Tom Cruise as Andy.
Oh.
You do like Harrison Ford and Tom Cruise?
I do like that. It's a wholly different film, but those are two pretty solid things. But also, I think you need Andy to be. I think it's a great the passage of time and the tick-tock clock for Andy is a lot more prescient because he's already 40 when he gets in. So 20 years passes and he's, like supposed to be like 60 or like late 50s. Yeah, because he's in there for 16, is it? I don't know.
20.
You'll prefer this. Role of Andy Dufresne was originally offered to Tom Hanks, who couldn't accept due to scheduling conflicts with Forrest Gump. However, they did work together on The Green Mile. Great other Frank Darabont, Stephen King prison adaptation. Frank Darabont has only made 4 films, and they're all great. The Mist, Shawshank, Green Mile, and The Majestic, which is a very good, underrated Jim Carrey film. And then he did work on the first season of Walking Dead, and then he got fucked over by AMC. But that's a whole other story. Stephen King's one criticism of the movie, do you know what it was? That Andy's tunnel was too round. According to Frank Darabont, he compared it to a Wile E. Coyote tunnel. It was too perfect. Several deleted scenes, and Frank Darabont just doesn't put them on the DVD. He doesn't delete. He's like Kubrick. Deleted scenes just do nothing for him. He doesn't think there's a point to people seeing them. I don't agree. I like deleted scenes. A sequence where the convicts find Jake, the Brooks' pet crow, dead in a field sometime after Brooks has left the prison, and they give Jake a funeral and burial. That would have been nice. Tommy's young wife visiting him, their conversations providing a more vivid illustration into why Tommy decides to turn his life around. After Andy's escape, an unfortunate guard is sent into his tunnel to see where it leads, and when he sees the sewage pipe broken and smells the overwhelming odour of shit, he vomits loudly. Red hears this happen from his own cell and cracks up laughing. He's sent to solitary confinement for 2 weeks where he continues laughing, thus learning for himself what Andy, in the aftermath of the loudspeaker incident, had meant about easy time in the hole. That's nice, but you got to keep it up. Red's feelings on the 1960s after he is paroled, as well as a panic attack in the grocery store that sends him running to a bathroom cubicle that calms him down because it reminds him of his cell. Thus making his choice to find the tree and rock more meaningful because it runs counter, obviously.
Well, that would have been nice.
To Brooks' choice. Because that is just great. You know, get busy living or get busy dying. Yeah. Goddamn right. And he, so Frank Darabont, Stephen King basically has a deal with all of his short stories that you can buy the rights for him for $1 for like up and coming film people. And Darabont did this with one of Short's, The Woman in the Room. And apparently King said it was one of the best of these little short films he'd ever seen. And he was astounded that Darabont wanted to do Rita Hayworth and The Shawshank Redemption because he just thought it wasn't a film. And he read the script, thought it was absolutely astounding. And he never cashed the $5,000 check from Darabont. He later framed it and for the rights. He later framed it and returned it to Darabont, accompanied by a note which read, "In case you ever need bail money, love, Steve."
Aww.
That's nice. It was supposed to be emblematic of the Frank Capra movies, such as It's a Wonderful Life. Okay, here's some more casting what-ifs. Gene Hackman and Robert Duvall were considered for the role of Andy Dufresne, but were unavailable. Clint Eastwood and Paul Newman were also considered. Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, and Kevin Costner were offered and passed on the role. Johnny Depp, Nicolas Cage, and Charlie Sheen were also considered for the role at different stages. Cruise attended table readings of the script, but declined to work for the inexperienced Darabont. People, like, this is a directorial debut. We cannot, and whilst this film was getting made, everybody thought it was going to be a disaster. And in a way, it was. When it first came out, nobody, very little fanfare. And then the Oscars came, and then they re-released it. Guess who was going to originally be Tommy? But he dropped out because a film came out with him in it, and it was like big hit. Brad Pitt was going to be Tommy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then he dropped out because Thelma and Louise, his stud guy, massive success.
He's fantastic in Thelma and Louise. I think that's the third time I said that now.
James Gandolfini passed on portraying prison rapist Boggs. Very nice phrasing. And then Bob Gunton was an initial choice. You can still go to the prison and they do a tour. I've always wanted to do it. I've been unavailable.
Where is it?
It's in, I believe, Ohio. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, Ohio.
Shall we go? Shall we go?
We'll go to Ohio. Ohio. What? Right. If you could go to any movie set ever, where would you go?
Oh, that's a question that I need about half an hour to think about, Tom.
I know.
There's so many movies.
Go on, Lucy.
Mine would be where Call Me by Your Name's filmed in Italy. I forgot the name of the town, but it's beautiful.
That's good. Yeah, because you've got two categories, haven't you? You've got like Shawshank prison, like they'd be interesting to go to, and then you've got movie set in Italy, so like Talented Mr. Ripley, Call Me by Your Name, A Bigger Splash by the Call Me by Your Name, Luca Guadagnini, that director. That's very good. That's just two sexy couples having it off with each other in a villa. When I say sexy, I mean that Dakota Johnson is sexy. Ralph Fiennes and Tilda Swinton aren't great lookers. Mind you, Ralph Fiennes in English Patient, he looks all right there. Not as good as Kristen Scott Thomas. Alas. Tom's big question. Let's just say it. Is this the best film ever made?
That is the big question. I mean, it's got all the elements of being one of the best films ever made. It's personal, though, isn't it? It's
yeah, but personals aside, it's good, but it's not Chicken Run, eh? Well,
correct.
Is this the best movie narration of all time. I've got some nominees. This, Goodfellas, American Psycho, Memento, Fight Club, Apocalypse Now, The Royal Tenenbaums. Can you think of any others? Wolf of Wall Street's got a good one. I sort of gave all the Scorsese's. Big Fish is good. However, you cannot beat Freeman in this. I mean, he became the king of narration, didn't he? All the March of the Penguins stuff I haven't seen.
Did you say American Beauty? That's a good narration.
Oh, that is good.
That's a good narration.
But that sort of drops off after the openings. It's just the opening scene and the closing scene.
I think I'd probably say American Psycho is up there with Shawshank for me. That's
definitely. I agree.
That's good narration.
Carruthers is an asshole.
Huey Lewis and the Jews.
And the who?
Huey Lewis and the Jews.
You said Huey Lewis and the Jews, which is not what the band is called. Famously, Huey Lewis and the News.
It's Family Guy again. It's Family Guy.
Sure. Is this the best Stephen King film?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Sorry, I can't say that. The Shining. Misery film's terrible. Sorry, not sorry.
Oh.
If you've read the book, the film is...
All right, snobby pants. I have read the book. It's my second favourite book of all time. I still think the film is excellent.
It's my favourite book of all time, and I don't think the book does it justice. The film.
We've got a Misery episode coming up.
Oh, have you?
Oh, yeah. Well, when I say coming up, I mean in 4 months for people watching. For us, it's still 3 months or something. It's after Halloween. You guys will see it after Halloween. So don't get too excited, everybody. But Misery, no. Well, we'll have you on.
Right. Okay. There's a critic.
Yeah, I'm gonna reread it myself. Little Miss Bookworm.
Only book I've ever read. No, it's not.
Oh, good clarification. What do you think of? Did you read the Call Me by Your Name book?
No, I haven't.
Are you withholding that because you think, what if it taints you?
There's a sequel, isn't there? Book.
There is a sequel which they are making into a film.
But is it not? It's going to be released in like 2025 or something ridiculous.
Well, it's obviously it's been postponed now.
Yeah. So I don't know if I can do that to myself.
Maybe it's because you read the book first. I often find that I am attached more to the thing that I did first.
Actor-wise,
just in relationships.
Yeah. Actor-wise, in Misery, spot on.
Incredible.
I think. Yeah, spot
absolutely
on,
astounding.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, everything else just wasn't right for me. Just not how I'd have done it.
Fair enough. Well, anyway, we'll get to it. A real counterpoint for the Misery episode.
I say, let him crash.
Best King. I mean, it is this. Shining's pretty good, though. Misery, Carrie's good. Stand By Me is very good. Stand By Me's got a great narration as well. Drop my pen. Stand By Me in this. It's called The Body. Good book, different seasons. Everybody pick it up. If you like Ian McKellen playing a Nazi, there's Apt Pupil, also from different seasons. Have you seen Apt Pupil, Will?
I haven't, but I do like Ian McKellen.
And you do love Nazis. Out of the park. Synopsis of a sequel. I don't think we need a sequel. Mind you, we don't need a sequel. But I would watch. I don't know. Watch like a nice little retirement drama. Well, obviously they're retired. They're not going to go to work. But like Red and Andy running a little hotel.
Or maybe someone else trying to. Have you seen the movie Escape Plan? with with Stallone and Schwarzenegger.
Oh, they find them and then they get sent back to prison and they have to escape again. God damn it!
Is it based on anyone? Is it based on anyone?
King did a lot of research on Prison Breaks, and so it's sort of an amalgamation, but it's like it's like small parts from a lot. And also, there's not really that many. I mean, it was obviously easier to break out of a prison in 19. When does he break out? In 60. By the time, what does he say? By the time Kennedy was shot, Andy had had enough. And so that's my story, Jack. Then one day, very late, perhaps around October of 1967, if he broke into the shaft in 67, why did he wait? Why didn't he escape until 75? In the book, he escapes in 75. I can't remember when he escapes in the film. Anyhow, closing line Hall of Fame. Incredible. I find I'm too excited to hold a thought in my head. I hope I'll see my friend again. I hope the Pacific is as blue as it is in my dreams. I hope. Beautiful. Who's the film dedicated to?
Don't know. I do know, but I don't.
Alan Green, Darabont's HIV dead agent. I think that's the nice way to say that, isn't it? HIV dead. Very nice.
It's medically accurate.
Yeah. Okay then. That has been the best film ever made. Lucy, any final thoughts on it? I mean, no final thoughts. You've got years ahead of you of loving this film. How exciting is that?
Yeah, I will watch it again. And I will enjoy watching it again.
Yeah.
So.
And you'll get to see all the little things of like, oh, he's going to ask for the poster because he's just knocked out a piece of the wall.
Yeah.
Very clever. William.
All I've got to say is thank you for listening to the first series of Carruthers, Leggetter and whoever. We've got a couple of bonus episodes coming up as a treat, but I think this is the last one of the series, isn't it?
The block, yeah. I mean, there's no break though.
Oh no, but it's nice to have a finale, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Sorry, just wasn't expecting it. I thought that was just the way I thought that was just a scheduling thing. I didn't realise that you were envisioning it like this is the
season 1, season 2.
This is the finale. No, it's going to fade out, and
now we need to wait half a year.
Now we need a cliffhanger.
Oh,
you son of a bitch! I'm never going to record a podcast again. That's a lie. We're recording one tomorrow. And that one is our first bonus. No, that's a lie because we did What Lies Beneath.
Yeah.
Our first TV series. We're doing season 1 of a show we both love, Inside Number 9. So, we're going to do a bit of ranking. We both love it. And then, very good. Oh, that's how we could decide the next show that we do after Inside Number 9. A Twitter poll.
Oh, there we go.
Or Instagram. Twitter or Instagram poll.
Oh, let's throw
and then Adam. I don't know who he is.
Adam.
We'll put out some suggestions. We'll make a short list of about 5.
10. 5 for me.
No, don't
5.
do 10. Yeah, people
We're
will
doing
get so
5,
bored.
Tom.
No, we'll do 6. I pick 3, you pick 3.
Okay.
I'll do 4. I'll do 4.
I'll do 4.
Yeah. I can talk as the general population. I don't want to be scrolling through 6 different ones. Sorry.
It's not an Excel spreadsheet.
Tom, narrow it down to 2. You can do that.
2?
No, 2 each. 2 each.
Oh, 2 each, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'll just
we give them one option.
What if Mad Men does get picked? Well,
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, you're damn right you will. There's no sneaking into a ship pipe now. You can't get away from it. Gonna tie you down like Misery. Except I'm making you watch Mad Men. Guess what Will asked before you were on, Will?
What did Will ask, Tom?
Oh, yeah, that's the point. Well, you do look similar. No, Lucy asked, do the thumbnails always just have you two in? She wants to be in the thumbnail, Will. She wants
They're
to
brilliant.
Very...
Will.
Oh, do you
They're
enjoy
brilliant.
the thumbnails? Thank
Amazing.
you.
What about the editing?
Amazing.
What about the editing?
Mm.
Pretty good.
Fantastic, Tom. Fantastic.
It's all right. I feel
Incredible
like
work
it's all
all
right.
around.
You don't need to. I don't need your pity. Yeah, very good. End of season 1. Wow, I should have got some party poppers.
Thank you for having me.
Some champagne. Yeah, Lucy, how do you feel that you were on the finale?
I feel honoured. I feel honoured.
We have had repeat guests. One of them who Will lays with every night, and yet we've not that you're not a great guest. You get the finale.
Thank you very much.
Should we bring her back for every season finale?
Every season finale. Well, the next season finale is Psycho. Have you ever seen Psycho?
No, but I can watch it, Tom.
There you go. Your book's in. Tuesday the 20th.
Right, I'll write it down.
Oh, you'll get it in due time. Anyway, yes. Enough about this. We're going to carry on. Very good. Right, I've been Thomas Carruthers.
I've been Will Leggetter.
And I'm Lucy Hewitt.
Ooh.
Oh, we're singing.
Should I got my trombone? My trombone. I didn't know what to say, trombone or xylophone, so I said trombone. And then I did this, even though that's not a xylophone, that's a harmonica. So, or a pan flute.
That's a harmonica.
Not a pan flute. A what are they called? Panpipes. No, pan flute. It's gone really well. Ooh, doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Ooh. Dabba-dabba-dabba-da-da-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.